Good afternoon and welcome to Card Design Thursday. So today's card is brought to you by the letter G, or better else known as Create at Home with G. He actually didn't sponsor this, but basically most of the stuff I use came from his store that I purchased last year. And so and he is also the inspiration for this card because he and I talked about this a long time ago and I just haven't got it done. So today I'm doing it. So I am going to be doing a monochromatic card today. It has a wee bit of color on it, more than I like because I was using something called antique linen and a pen, and I thought it was going to be like an off-white, but nevertheless, it's still a really cute card. So we're going to need a lot of things, so don't let it scare you. So first of all, it's a 5x5 card, and I've already cut my card base. So the card base is a 5x5, and then the first mat on it is 4 7/8 by 4 7/8, and then this one is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So we're going to need those. We're going to be using this largest nestable die, Lacy squares. We're going to be using that. I am going to be using my Stamp Perfect that I won last year from May at the Stamp Perfect thing we went to in the mountains. We're going to be using our Versamark ink, embossing ink, and I finally found it. I knew I had ordered one from May a long time ago, but I couldn't find it till just recently. We're going to be using Memento Tuxedo Black because I am using alcohol markers. I am using 2 colors of alcohol markers. This one right here, which it's called Cool Gray. It's C1. And then this one is E2, and it's supposed to be an off-white or a linen color. And then for the stamp set, this is called Winter Wonderland stamp set. I'm not sure if he still has these or not, but I'm using the little snowflakes here, and I'm using the mitts with the coffee cup, using those out of there. And then from the Woodland stamp set, also from G's, I am using Wishing You the Best Christmas Ever on the inside. So, I'm also using tape runner, but because this is a white card and it's not the thickest cardstock, the glue tends to show through, so I'm using my Aztec Crafters tape. I'm using some sparkle embossing powder. I'm using some clear stickles, some foam tape, and my little embossing bag, and of course my embossing heat tool. So let's get started. I know it seems like a lot, but don't let it scare you. It's really simple to do. It just takes a lot of steps. So the first thing we're going to do is take the smallest mat, and we are going to stamp the mugs. Oh yes, we're also using an embossing folder, and I'll show that to you in a minute. I'm going to put this down in the corner here. Put my magnets on. And lay this down where I want it to go. I want it to go right there in the middle. Okay. And then we're going to stamp this with the Memento ink. And I think my Memento ink's about to dry up, which is sad face. It's one of my favorite inks besides Versamark. I didn't want to use my Versamark ink because it's doesn't do well with alcohol markers. It bleeds. And I'm using this so that I can get a good impression. Okay, I need a little bit over there on the thumb. I have a mini Misty, but Couldn't tell you where that is either right now. Okay. There we go. So that is done. Give that a moment to dry. And we are through with this. And let me wipe my stamp off over here. And put that back over here. Okay. So, oh, I forgot to show y'all what the card looks like, didn't I? So this is what the card looks like when it's finished. It's a top folding card. I think it's really pretty. You can see the embossing. I haven't stamped the insides yet. I'm actually making a set of 5 cards. So, but we are done with this. So we're going to put this out of the way. Now what we're going to do with this is emboss it. Move the stamps out of the way too. For right now. Okay. The one thing I did find out, this is an embossing folder. It's a beautiful embossing folder by Sizzix. It's a Stampin' Up. It's very thick, and you do not need both plates on here. So I'm only using my my B plate. This is my Big Shot. I'm only using one plate because you do not need both of them. So, and I'm taking the top plate off. Let's see. I think I left one plate on. Yep. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And I'm going to be very mindful where I place it because I want my ridges to be in a certain place. All right, so I'm just going to put that in there and put the plate on top. If you don't, it will not run through. And I'm going to run that back through again. Should have turned it around, huh? Okay, and see how nice that embossed? Now, I don't know what kind of, die cut or embossing machine that you have, but I'm just telling you, you will never get this through if you use both plates. Because I tried. Like, I broke my machine and my arm too. Move that out of the way. Okay, so now we have the embossed piece right here. And we're done for that at the moment. So now we're going to prep our next piece, which is this right here. Because we want it to make sure we get a good drying time on it. And where is my scrap paper? Hold on one moment. I had a piece right here that I was already using for scrap paper. So all I'm doing is taking my ink pad here, and these are the little snowflakes, and I'm just going to do the outside edges because you can see the outside edges on the card after I use the embossing machine and cut that out. So I'm just going around the outside edges of the card. And I didn't use my embossing bag, but that's okay. I think most of it will come off anyway. And I love the VersaFine watermark ink. It does so nice. And it gives you a lot of drying time. Okay. Let me put a little bit more right there. Yeah. Okay. Uh-oh, dogs. All right, so now we're going to use our embossing powder. And we're just going to go around the edges. This just gives it some nice sheen on the card. Gives it a little bit of interest too. So this card is basically all about layers. I'm going to lay that to the side for a minute, and we're going to dump the embossing powder in there because we're not wasting this. Okay. Now I'm just going to heat this up with my heat tool, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay. This is all done. Now, I don't know if you're able to see the sparkle on there, but it is very sparkly on the outside. And you can see that in little embossed snowflakes. It's very cute. Now, I will tell you, don't do like I just did. I should have colored this before I embossed it, but I'm going to go ahead and color it anyway. So I make mistakes, so you don't have to. So make sure you color your image first, but it's not going to make a difference, really. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is cut this out. So we need the embossing machine again, our Big Shot again, and we need our large plate. Now when I was doing the other cards, I did all this in assembly line. I did each piece, you know, cut all my papers at one time, cut all my things at one time, and I thought about cutting this out ahead of time, but I thought I would just do the card with you step by step. Okay, so we're going to lay this down here. I'm going to lay it down. And you want to make sure that this is centered. I think I did it this way, actually. I did. I want to make sure the card is centered around the little snowflake, the mug. You're going to put that down there. Then you're going to put your C plate on. And I still didn't turn it around the right way, did I? Oh, well. And don't worry about that noise if you hear it, because they do this all the time. That's the noise they make. The first time I ever used this thing and I heard that noise, oh, I just knew I broke my machine. I was so upset. As a matter of fact, I called Mamie and said, Amy, did I break this machine? So, and don't throw these away. I'm going to do another little project with all of these. So all I'm going to do right now is weed it, which simply means that I'm just going to take the little parts out of it. And so I don't know if you want to watch me do that or not. So I'm going to finish this up and I'll be back when I get it out. Okay, so we're done with this. We're done with the die now. And this is what it looks like when you cut it out. And I just thought I'd add some dimension to the cards. I think that's lovely. So we're going to start building the card now. The first thing we're going to do actually is I'm going to try to color this without making too big of a mess, and I'll show you what I did with it. I'm just barely putting color on this because, like I said, it's mostly monochromatic, but I wanted some coffee color, some kind of color in the cup. And I wanted this around the edges of it. This is supposed to be that linen. But this is actually going to be lighter too because I'm going to be doing something else to it. Because you know I love my blingy stuff. And I want it to be glistening like snowflakes. Yeah, this would color a whole lot better if Donna had done this beforehand, but it's okay. Actually, it looks quite nice like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Wink Stella and I'm going to go over it. Not my Wink Stella. I ran out of Wink Stella. I was using Wink Stella on some things, but I ran out. So all I'm going to do is trace the outline of the snowflakes. Now I will notice, even though I'm using Memento ink, the black kind of gives it a cast of green color. I have no idea, but it's not. It is clear, as you can see. And I'm going down the middle of the glove with the stickles. So it's nice and shiny and glittery and snowflakey. And I'm just following the lines of the snowflake. So we need to let this dry. Now what I did was, since I don't have any Wink Stella left, I'm just going to take this and I'm going to squeeze it out, but I'm dragging it so that I'm actually spreading it at the same time. I don't want a big clump on it, but I do want some sparkle on it. And it lightens up my colors just a bit. So I'm going to go over the whole coffee cup. And I know you're not supposed to do this, but I'm doing this. I'm taking my finger and just spreading it out just a little bit. And then I'll put just a touch on the gloves, make it a little sparkly. There we go. Now, this has to dry before we can actually put the card together. So, in preparation for that, I actually have another one that I did that's already dry. So, to put the card together, first of all, we're going to stamp the sentiment. And I'm going to be using my Memento ink for that. And just kind of eyeballing the center of the card. I'm not putting matte in it because it's already white. Okay. Let that dry. Turn this over. And put that glue back on my little stickle stuff. Then we're going to take the card that we twinkled all up. And I'm going to add stick tape from this. Like I said, I don't like to put, what do you call it? Wet glue on this. Just because it kind of wrinkles up the card a little bit. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to center this. And it's a lot easier if you open it up before and try to center it, I've found. Okay. So, that's done. And then we're going to take, oh, that's the wet one. Yucky. We're going to take the dry one, and we're going to put foam tape on the back of it. I'm using up the rest of this foam tape that I do not like from the Dollar Tree. The one that the paper splits all over the place for it. I am putting quite a bit of foam tape on it only because I want it to stand out. I don't want it to have part of it sinking in. Okay, now the most important part, and I have done one of these over because of it, make sure that you're putting the card in the right side up. I put mine sideways one time, and it's going to go down just like that. It's my little pokey tool here. Let's see if I can get this tape off. just about finished with this. Okay, now, where we did the outline, it leaves a nice little place in the middle. Really kind of helps you gauge where to put your coffee cup. And we're just going to center that right in the middle on the place that's not. There we go. So there is our almost monochromatic Christmas card. Wishing you the best Christmas ever. And I just think those are so cute. And so now I have a set. I will have a set of 5 when the other one gets through drying. And I just love the way these came out. Now, these will also be in my little store on Facebook, a set, and I will be making a box for them to put in there. With the box, I will not be gluing the box together because it doesn't mail very nicely. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that card. I enjoyed making it. I've had a lot of fun making all of those last night. And make sure that you head over to Create at Home with G, and he has some lovely things over there now. Too many that I wish I could get, but go check him out. And if you like this card today, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed to my channel yet, do so by clicking that little thing up there that says Craft Some More on it with the Eiffel Tower, and you can be subscribed. And make sure you tap the bell so you can be notified each and every time that I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back in just a little bit. For coincidence, I have Happy Mail from Create at Home with G. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.